Hey everyone, in this video I'm going to show you some tips, tricks, and hints about unboxing your Scribit and how to use certain items. So let's get going. Well, first things first, I just want to kind of show after the unboxing what we have. We have some cords, marker adapters, markers, tape measure, and things like that. The first thing I want to show you is that with the Scribit itself, you typically get these two paddles. The two paddles are typically, just a cardboard paddle. They might be a bow tie shape as well. There's different shapes that these paddles can be. You don't need those. The first thing that I got stuck on when I saw this was I thought perhaps, this kind of maybe is used over here, and it's not the case. So don't worry about that. The only thing that this paddle is used for is to ravel up and unravel the string, okay? So if you want, you can actually unravel the string and you can actually just see what that looks like unraveled. You might be wondering, is this like a special type of string? Does it have to be fastened a certain way? The fact of the matter is that this string is very straightforward. You literally just have a loop at the end and it's very secure. I was first worried that this would fall right off or rip off or not even be able to hold such a heavy item. But this string itself is actually very, very straightforward and simple, and hopefully you can see that quite well. So just a nice, simple, straightforward string. So the paddle is really just meant to ravel up, right? Same as this one over here. So I won't unravel this, but I just wanted to point it out that you do not need this paddle over there, okay? The second thing that I want to just point out to you is that once you look at the Scribit itself, you might be wondering about these teeth. Don't worry, don't get confused about the teeth. The teeth itself are meant to control the distance of the Scribit from your wall. So when this thing is hanging on the wall, you manually can decide where this string goes in the teeth. So if your wall is a certain shape and you need the string to be at the back, in order for the Scribit to be level, then put it at the back. You might need to use the back tooth, right? Most people will use the middle. On my Scribit, I use the middle, either the first or second from the middle. But you might also need to use the front tooth as well. So what you'll probably find is that your string will be around the middle and it'll hang nice and vertically. Sometimes walls are crooked, or the way that you've positioned it requires you to maybe put it out forward or back. So that's what this piece is for. You don't need to do anything with it. And you don't need to insert, you don't need to do anything with that. And you should keep in mind that once you've picked what tooth this string is in, when the Scribit is moving, it should not be moving around. It shouldn't be popping or clicking or fidgeting itself around. This is a one-time manual thing. Although yes, you can move it later, but the Scribit itself shouldn't be moving that string. That means there's a problem when your Scribit's going. Okay, so keep that in mind with the teeth. The next thing I want to share with you is actually these marker pieces here. Now, when I first got my Scribit, one of these was off. And I thought, here we go, it came in from overseas and a long journey here, and this thing was off. I thought, it's broken, I should really let them know. But I thought about it and looked at it some more, and I realized it's just unscrewed, and you can actually screw it right back on. So clockwise to tighten and counterclockwise to loosen it up. And if you're wondering what this is just the holder for the Scribit marker, okay? It fits on perfectly. So this Scribit marker itself came with the device, and let me just show you what this looks like inside. So inside this piece over here is actually just a kind of a rubber, an O-ring that goes inside. So this can come out, no problem, it's really not a big deal. This O-ring goes in, okay? And then in a clockwise turn, you basically screw that on that way as well. Okay, that could be done with each of these four. And you can see the one that's indented the most, that one there is in the drawing position. So this piece is in the drawing position. The marker would draw on the wall in theory, although this isn't on the wall. These three are kind of what we call ready to draw, so they're set out. So 3 out and 1 in. What you want to be aware of as well is that this thing screws on and off quite easily, but you typically what you typically want to do is you take off the marker, put it at the back, the cap, and put this thing on to a point on the marker like this, right at the line. You want to get it right on that line, so you can see there's even a finger pointing. Put this piece onto there, and then what you want to do is screw it on. And then once you screw that on clockwise, this will sit on there quite nicely, okay? So I just want you to keep that in mind. So maybe I'll take that off and take that marker off. I just wanted to point that out. Some people get stuck on that, and that's just something to be aware of. So I'll take the marker off and just put it back in the box. I'll show you a couple other things as well. Over here are the marker adapters. I mentioned previously, if you have your own markers that you use, these are the adapters that you're gonna put inside here to maybe get your own marker in. So you might need to put a couple washers, some of these thicker or thinner ones. You might need to put those in order to make your own markers fit in there. That's fine, just play around with it. You know, don't worry if it's a little too loose or too tight. Just use these marker adapters, as you can see on the side, to put this on. So I'm gonna screw this back on. What I'm gonna do is maybe just tighten this one up as well. A couple other tips and hints. You might see these round things on the side. Now, it is something that automatically the Scribit, when motorized, will move. So these things will turn on its own. And that's how the Scribit moves around, is by the turning of these things on the side. However, you are able to manually turn them. It does not hurt the Scribit. You can manually turn them forward and back. Your hand might hurt a little bit. It is a bit hard to turn, but it's okay to do that. However, if it is really not turning and you gave it some force, don't keep pushing it. Use your own judgment. But if it turns a bit, that's fine. And you're able to manually do that. It doesn't hurt the Scribit. It does take some pressure on the hand to do that, but you can certainly just do that if you need to. In a later video, I'll show you exactly how that would work and what that looks like. So again, I'm just showing you some tips and hints. The reason that this cord is like this, the reason that this cord has this, stretchy part is because when the Scribit is on the wall, this part has to be unobstructed. So this has to be able to move like this freely. You really can't have it stuck or hitting anything on the wall. So what we tell you, what Scribit tells you, is that this piece should stay flat on the floor so that this piece is loose. I'll show you in another video, but this piece should not be obstructing anything, shouldn't be hit, shouldn't be poked around. It should be free to move around. That's how the Scribit is going to do a proper drawing, okay? The last thing I'll just point out is that this measuring tape, you can see it's just a piece of tape to take it off. Always start with your 0, 0 when you're putting it up on the wall. So you have your 0, 0 here, and it says right there, place your first nail or suction cup here into that hole. So you're going to use this part of the tape measure to start with the first peg of installing the Scribit. However, you're going to use the second end of this tape measure at a later point to calibrate. So one end of the tape measure is used to start the installation, but the other end of the Scribit is used for calibration. So it's actually a dual purpose tape measure. Like I said, one end for installation, the other end is for calibration. So these are all just little tricks and hints and tips. If you don't know some of those things, hopefully this helps you in the whole process of getting started. Because I find that it's fine to do an unboxing, but what happens from the unboxing stage to the installation stage? You know, how are you going to understand how all of these things go together? So hopefully this video helped you understand that and really helped you gauge what to know in terms of getting started with your Scribit. So at this point, I'll say thank you so much for watching and have a great day.